Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Players back, Mason Greenwood. Manchester United's decision to freeze Greenwood out has angered some players. Because obviously Greenwood is innocent until he's guilty. Now, Greenwood is banned from England and Manchester United, so he can't train or play any matches. Manchester United fans recently set their Mason Greenwood shirts on fire. Last Wednesday, Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. Mason Greenwood has been arrested twice for sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. And not so long ago, Greenwood was removed from FIFA 22. It's disgraceful what Mason Greenwood has done. You've got to say his Manchester United career is officially over and his England career is officially over. He's only the age of 20. You know, he was an upcoming player, was Greenwood. Greenwood joined Manchester United at the age of 6. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. Since he broke into the senior squad, he's made 129 appearances and he's scored over 30 goals. Last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Earlier on this season, he had COVID for a while. And he was upset earlier on this season that Cristiano Ronaldo always starts. Revert back to 2019, Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave. So that's more news on Mason Greenwood, and like I mentioned on my last video, Ralf Rangnick is facing a fresh dressing room revolt with his Manchester United players. Obviously, our players are unhappy with Ralf Rangnick, with his treatment of Jesse Lingard. Now, Manchester United have got very good players. We've also got inconsistent players as well. So we've got Edinson Cavani. Now he's a good player. I think Cavani's out with an injury at the moment. He's had a few injuries this season. Cavani will leave Manchester United in the summer because, revert back to earlier on this season, Ralf Rangnick revealed that Edinson Cavani wants to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Cavani's out of contract in the summer. Now, I have been hearing that River Plate are considering a transfer for Edinson Cavani in the summer to replace Julian Alvarez. Last year, Cavani was linked with Barcelona. Well, it said last year that Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Barcelona were seeing him as a replacement for Aguero because Aguero retired due to heart problems. Last year, Cavani was linked with Juventus and Boca Juniors. Cavani did reject a move to Boca Juniors. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Man United have got Marcus Rashford. To Rashford's credit, he's picked up form in his last few games. I thought Rashford played well in the Cup against Middlesbrough. He had some good chances. He had a goal disallowed for offside, and he got in some good positions, and he got some good runs in behind. Before the international break, Marcus Rashford came off the bench and scored in the 93rd minute of stoppage time against West Ham. He also came off the bench and scored in the 3-1 win against Brentford. That ended Marcus Rashford's 3-month goal drought. Rashford, though, has enjoyed a lot of poor games since he had that operation on his shoulder, and a lot of United fans, including me, have said that he hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. Missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder injury. Not so long ago, Rashford had a minor leg injury. PSG have been linked to Rashford, and earlier on this season it said Barcelona were in for him. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. Earlier on this season it said Rashford was preparing to open contract talks with Manchester United. Rashford receives £200,000 a week at the moment. Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Anthony Elanga, to his credit, he's done well since he broke into our first team squad, and I've mentioned quite a lot of times before that he looks a very good asset for the first team squad. Unfortunately, Anthony Elanga missed the decisive penalty against Middlesbrough in the shootout, and reflecting on that, Anthony Elanga was racially abused on social media. I do disagree with that. Elanga did come on in the game. I thought Elanga played very well in the 1-0 win against West Ham before the break. He made an impact in the 3-1 win against Brentford because he scored in that game. It was a very good header. He also played very well in the 2-2 draw against Aston Villa because he had some chances in that game. Elanga's only the age of 19, still young, got a lot of development in him. He's been part of the club for a long time. He joined Manchester United's academy at the age of 12. Revert back towards the end of last year, Elanga committed his future to the club because he signed a contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Jadon Sancho. He's coming good now, is Jadon Sancho. He hasn't done nowhere near as well as a lot of Manchester United fans expected, but it does take some players time to settle in. Sancho played very well against Middlesbrough in the Cup recently. He scored our goal. It was a well taken goal as well. I think it did get a slight deflection. It was Sancho's first Old Trafford goal, and he scored on his FA Cup debut. Sancho should have scored in the first 90 seconds. He hit the crossbar. Prior to the Middlesbrough game, I think Sancho did miss the last couple of games due to personal reasons. Sancho also played well in the game against Burnley last year. Unfortunately, he was denied a goal in that game, and I thought he played very well in the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away because he scored in both of them games. And he played well in the first half against Crystal Palace last year. Revert back to when we had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho because obviously Solskjaer persistently played him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Man United signed Sancho last summer for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. We've got Bruno Fernandes. He's one of the best players we've got, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes, though, has enjoyed a lot of poor games this season. Fernandes, though, recently did well against Middlesbrough. He had chances, but unfortunately couldn't convert them. The best chance he had is when he hit the post. I don't know how he missed that. Fernandes got the assist for the Jadon Sancho goal against Middlesbrough. Fernandes also did well in the games against Brentford and Villa away in the league, because against Brentford Fernandes got 2 assists, and in the game against Villa he scored both of Manchester United's goals. I think, by the way, Fernandes has recently picked up a knock. Hopefully the knock's not too severe. Earlier on this season, Bruno Fernandes rejected a contract offer from Man United. It said Bruno Fernandes' contract talks are postponed until the summer, having turned down an offer last year. Obviously, Fernandes is demanding similar money to the top earners at the club. Fernandes receives £100,000 a week at the moment. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. He's been a Manchester United player for 2 years. Man United signed Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Manchester United have also got Jesse Lingard. Now, obviously not good enough. Lingard doesn't get in the team anyway. I can't understand why Manchester United blocked his exit last month. Newcastle and West Ham were trying to get Lingard on loan last month. Don't forget, Ralph Rangnick said that Lingard did not ask to play against Middlesbrough, but obviously Lingard hit back at Rangnick and obviously said this wasn't true. Obviously he mentioned that the club advised him to have time off due to personal reasons, and Lingard said that my headspace is clear. Obviously, after the game against Middlesbrough, Rangnick came out and said that he wanted Jesse Lingard in the Man United squad against Middlesbrough. Rangnick believed that was one player short. Obviously, the situation with Lingard was the exact same situation of what we had with Martial towards the end of last year. Lingard will leave in the summer. His contract at Manchester United expires in the summer, doesn't he? He's been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy. Obviously, Juan Mata's still at Man United. Obviously, don't have a great deal of a perception on him now because Mata doesn't get in the team. Mata lost his place in the team a while ago. And he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. But despite all of that, Juan Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata's made 277 appearances in all competitions. He's scored 51 goals. Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Juan Mata from Chelsea back in 2014. Manchester United paid 37.1 million. Revert back to 2020, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. And recently Mata came on against Middlesbrough. Manchester United have the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo obviously played against Middlesbrough recently. I thought his finishing was very poor. Ronaldo had a lot of chances in the game. One of his chances came from an overhead kick. Ronaldo missed a penalty as well in normal time against Middlesbrough. Like I updated you on my last video, reports have been saying that Manchester United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettino. Well, earlier on this season it said Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and it also mentioned that Ronaldo faces a 25% pay cut should Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Revert back 3 weeks ago, Ronaldo gave an interview and Ronaldo was very critical of the youngsters, so reflecting on that he was demanding more from the youngsters, and Ronaldo said that Rangnick will do a good job at Man United, and he also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. Ronaldo also said finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Ronaldo's unhappy at the club because he's already asked his agent George Mendes to find him another club. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt and his contract at Manchester United expires next year. There's an option to extend his contract for a further year. Ronaldo receives nearly £500,000 a week, so reflecting on that, he's the highest earner at the club. And since Ronaldo re-signed, he's scored 14 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. And Ronaldo's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Paul Pogba, he's a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. My concern about Pogba is injury prone because he's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club. Pogba played against Middlesbrough in the Cup recently. To his credit, he played very, very well. And obviously Pogba did win the penalty in normal time. It was Pogba's first appearance in 3 months. Pogba will leave Manchester United in the summer if Rangnick doesn't get the job on a permanent basis. But he may stay. It said not so long ago that Pogba is willing to stay at Man United as long as Ralph Rangnick is manager for next season, because Pogba's been impressed by Ralph Rangnick since his arrival, and it said Pogba would be open to signing a new contract. Pogba's out of contract at Man United in the summer. A couple of months ago, there was reports saying that Man United had offered Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract. That would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history, but Pogba actually came out and denied that he'd been offered that contract. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's played over 200 games. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. And we had Pogba when he was a lot younger, under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Manchester United have got Scott McTominay. I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. But I've got to be honest with you, I think McTominay has been one of our best performers under Rangnick. McTominay weren't that good against Middlesbrough in the Cup. the good games McTominay's had this season of what I've seen, you know, McTominay was very good against Brentford because he was involved in the build-up to 2 of the goals. He also played very well against Aston Villa in the FA Cup 3rd round. He got man of the match, and the only goal of that game came from a McTominay header. McTominay played very well away at Norwich last year as well, and he played well on the opening day against Leeds. He's been part of the club for a long time. Revert back to 2020, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United. We've also got Fred. Now, Fred is definitely not good enough to represent the club. We need to move him on this year, but I don't think Manchester United are going to. Fred and McTominay have played a hell of a lot of games together in midfield. They don't complement each other, it's as simple as that. Manchester United got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, got him for 50 million. Fred didn't start against Middlesbrough, but he did come on in the game. Manchester United have also got Matic as well. Not good enough. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's aging up and that. But despite that, he has had his good games at Man United. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. And he's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. Matic is out of contract in the summer. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017, got him for 40 million. At the time Man United signed him though, he was like our 3rd choice. We've got Alex Telles. Now, he's a good left back, is Alex Telles, and I hope he stays at Manchester United. He has been impressive under Rangnick. He's our first choice left back under Rangnick. He didn't play against Middlesbrough recently due to injury, so obviously we played Luke Shaw ahead of Telles. Telles has been subjected to transfer speculation before. The reason Manchester United brought Telles in was to provide competition for Shaw. He's had a couple of injuries since he signed for the club. We got Telles from Porto back in 2020. Man United got him for 15.4 million. We've got Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's a good left back overall, but Luke Shaw's endured a lot of poor games this season. Luke Shaw did play against Middlesbrough, like I just mentioned. He did quite well against Middlesbrough, to be fair. Got forward and that well. He just come back from injury not so long ago. Revert back to earlier on this season, he had a couple of injuries. And Luke Shaw is injury prone, which is a concern. Last season, I've got to say Luke Shaw was probably the best left back in the Premier League. Shaw has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. We've got Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is definitely not good enough. Manchester United need to move him on in the summer. I said we need to take the captaincy off Harry Maguire because Maguire is quite clearly not a leader. Maguire, of course, did play against Middlesbrough. Weren't too good, to be honest with you. Maguire had an injury not so long ago. Earlier on this season, he had a calf injury. And he had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. So he's endured a few injuries since he signed for the club. Harry Maguire's been at Manchester United for over 2 years now. Manchester United got him from Leicester back in the summer of 2019, got him for 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. Man United definitely overpaid for him. We also got Raphael Varane. To be fair, Raphael Varane is a good centre-half. Most of the time when Varane plays, he seems to make the difference. Varane did well against Middlesbrough recently. Varane also did well against West Ham before the break. He did very well against Brentford, especially in that first half. I think he's done really well, Varane, since he come back from that hamstring injury. Varane's endured, 2 injuries since he signed for the club. The 2 injuries he had, obviously the first one was a groin injury, then obviously the one after was the hamstring injury. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world because he's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. Man United signed Varane last summer from Real Madrid for 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 34 million up front. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. We've also got Eric Bailly. Now, Bailly is a good centre-half, but Bailly doesn't get in the team much. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago. Bailly recently picked up an injury. He's injury prone, which is a concern. He was at the African Cup of Nations not so long ago. The last game Bailly played for Man United was the 3-1 win against Burnley, but he actually came off injured in that game. Yeah, but like I say, Bailly will leave in the summer. I thought he was going to leave last month because at the early stages of last month, Damasio came out and said that Bailly agreed to join AC Milan on loan, and it did mention that Bailly was extremely interested in a move to AC Milan. Bailly's been at Manchester United for over 5 years. Man United got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. Manchester United paid £38 million, and back in April last year, Bailly signed a contract with Man United until 2024. We also have Victor Lindelof. Lindelof definitely not good enough to represent the club. He's missed the last few games due to personal reasons. Earlier on in the season, Lindelof's house got robbed. You know, Lindelof, I've always had my reservations about him. He's always been a static centre-half, and he makes mistakes. You know, Lindelof's played a lot of games alongside Maguire. He's played games alongside Bailly, and he's even played some games alongside Varane. Manchester United got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017. Man United got him for £31 million. And he's under contract with Man United until 2024. Manchester United have also got Phil Jones. Phil Jones, who leave in the summer. I was disappointed that he didn't leave last month. Don't forget on deadline day, Romano said that Jones rejected a loan move to Bordeaux, but Man United had reached an agreement with Bordeaux for Phil Jones to go out on loan in order to get more playing time. Reports from France did say that Phil Jones talks were at final stages. But Rangnick did mention that he was happy for Phil Jones to stay. Jones did recently come on in the game against Middlesbrough. He played the game against Wolves at Old Trafford, and that was his first Premier League appearance since January 2020. This season has been his 11th season at Man United, Jones, so he's been a very long-serving player. Got him from Blackburn under Ferguson. Manchester United have got Diego Dalot. Not really good enough, is he? But to be honest with you, Dalot has been impressive under Rangnick. He's our first choice right back under Rangnick. Dalot could leave in the summer. He has been subjected to transfer speculation before. Don't forget last season Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, and reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot. a few years ago from Porto, paid £19 million for him. Delor's contract at Man United expires next year. We do have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's definitely not good enough to represent the club. Man United are looking to sell Bissaka in the summer. I can't remember the last time Bissaka played. He had COVID, didn't he? Not so long ago. Defensively, Bissaka's good. But the attacking side of his game is just poor. Really, really is. Man United got Bissaka from Crystal Palace back in 2019. Man United got him for 50 million. And this season has been Bissaka's third full season at Man United. And obviously we've got De Gea, our first choice goalkeeper. He's been absolutely sensational this season. He really, really has. Like I updated you recently, De Gea recently got named the Premier League Player of the Month for January. He became the first goalkeeper to win the award in 6 years. And obviously we've got Dean Henderson. He's our second choice goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper, Henderson, but doesn't really get in. He was in goal for the game against Middlesbrough, but that was only his third appearance of the season. I can't understand why we didn't let Henderson leave last month, let alone Lingard. I reckon Henderson will leave in the summer. He won't go out on loan, he'll leave permanently. Obviously our third choice goalkeeper's Tom Heaton. He's a backup, isn't he really? You know, Man United got Tom Heaton on a free transfer from Aston Villa last summer. And our fourth choice goalkeeper's Lee Grant. I recall Lee Grant making one appearance. We have got Tahith Chong, by the way. He's back now. He's recently picked up an injury. We also have that Hannibal Medjbrai. Don't really know much about that Medjbrai, to be honest with you, if I've pronounced his name correctly. So there you go. But yeah, Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window. Because Manchester United didn't make any signings. You know, Man United wanted to sign a midfielder in January. Because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Like I said, we blocked Lingard and Henderson from leaving. Towards the end of last month, we had the incident with Mason Greenwood. But there again, you know, Man United loaned a few players out last month. You know, Van der Beek went out on loan to Everton. Martial went out on loan to Sevilla. Diallo went out on loan to Rangers. Tiedemann Mengi went out on loan to Birmingham. Ethan Laird went out on loan. Tuanzebe went out on loan to Napoli. So we let around 8 players leave last month. So Rangnick has endured one transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always. And tomorrow I will be giving you my predicted 11 for the game against Burnley. I was supposed to be doing it on this one, but I'll do it tomorrow.